On this episode, content creator and artist, my brother Lyndon McCray, stops by. Let's go. So were you born and raised in Brooklyn?
Absolutely. Brooklyn, well, born in Manhattan, but just because that's where Lenox Hill Hospital is.
Right,
I always
right.
grew up in Brooklyn first, Prospect Heights, and then we moved down to Willoughby and Myrtle and Hall because I was going to PS20 at the time.
Right.
So,
And don't talk like this like an interview. You know, when we get together, we just go in.
Nah, but no. I'm trying, but now you make me think. No. But PS20, and then obviously that's just growing up in that area from that whole trifecta, Clinton Hill, Fort Greene, Bed-Stuy. What was going on during that time. That's when the whole 40 acres movies,
was
hip
hop
started. That's I would say that's. I mean, I wasn't hip at the time, but like I guess when we went over there, that's when She's Gotta Have It.
Wow.
Came out
way back.
Yeah, so that was just like, so I was inspired, and I don't even remember when did like the store pop up.
It was there from
that was
time
the
I started.
90s,
yeah, that was the 90s.
That was it might have been the late 80s, no?
Nah.
That was
It
the
was
90s?
after Malcolm X.
It was after Malcolm X.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. With the store pop.
Because that man, and then you would I just remember the X shirts, but that's right there by Brooklyn Tech, right? Because I live on that block. And then the X shirts, the Stay Black joints, I had the 40 acres, like the baseball jersey, because that's when all the stuff was popping. Yeah. So growing up and all of that, and then also when you remember, that's what's inspiring, like a lot of the stuff that I've been thinking about, that I was telling you with like doing documentaries that was based on the neighborhood.
Is that what inspired you to go to SUNY Purchase? You went to Purchase, my alma mater, your alma mater, while I'm rocking the shirt to represent.
I'll support the Knicks colors. Actually, well, I mean, of course, look, we wouldn't even be having this conversation if Do the Right Thing never came out.
Right.
We wouldn't be having this conversation.
Right.
So, but really, what put me in Purchase, I was always in art.
Right.
Okay, so
you was a visual art student.
I was a fine art. Well, no, at that time I guess you would call it fine arts.
Okay.
I guess you would call it visual arts, but all the shit is visual.
I remember the visual arts building at Purchase.
No. At Purchase, I was a film major.
Okay. All right.
At Purchase, I was in the film conservatory.
Nice.
But before that, everything that I did was based on like my basketball. Because you like to play around a little bit, but then you see not growing too much. My basketball was always the pen and the pad, the brush and the canvas.
Right.
So from LaGuardia High School, and even before that, just classes in the Brooklyn Museum. They had the children's programs popping off. Like as a kid, taking classes in Pratt, being in high school, taking classes in Cooper Union. So originally I was actually like Purchases saw my stuff when I was like a junior,
right,
and accepted me in the program, in the arts program.
Right.
But it was too early. I was just
so you're a storyteller.
Yeah.
Tell me about why are you a storyteller? You've edited a lot of stuff. You've cut for me numerous occasions. So it's kind of like you've always been a storyteller. Now you're getting into documentary filmmaking. Tell me about that journey. Like what's that about?
First movie I ever made was a documentary. I was in the AXO program, NAACP. So that was my junior year of high school. So like that's what like next year will be 20 years that I've been doing this film thing.
Right.
But the storytelling, like I said, we've been doing that since we was playing with the toys and making
up stories. Yeah,
you know what I mean? With
yeah.
Mixing up. Because like with you might have like 3 G.I. Joe joints, 2 Ninja Turtles,
and you make it a movie,
and and then that's your movie. And the way that you saw that perspective, the way you lined up the Thundercats and got everybody mixing together.
Right.
So that that's the first thing. I would say that's the first thing. The second thing, I think the storytelling comes from like just being like just being around my mom's on the phone all the time.
Right.
Cause
I remember those days. My mom used to play cards.
You know, because when you're around your mom's all the time, you know, I think that's when you know the power of editing, right? Because you was just at the supermarket with your mom.
And you saw what happened.
And
she edited some shit.
She had the interaction with Miss, James, whatever. And it was just a real quick, hi, bye, how's the kids? Okay, tell everybody. By the time she got to the card game, what happened? And you know what happened?
And you know what she said to me?
And it got all this
and you like, wow.
And you like, damn.
Yeah, she had some special effects.
Right, it's like a whole new story. And I think that shows you the power of editing.
Right.
I think that would be it. Before I was even an editor, and storytelling. People always say editing, and people put the editing thing on me because that was obviously the most transactional thing that you could do.
Right.
But there's no trick to it.
Right.
Like when people ask me to teach, there's no Mike Tyson code to it, right? You got to be a good storyteller.
Right. It's kind of like what they say, you make a movie 3 times. When you write it, when you shoot it, and when you edit it. It could be 3 completely different stories depending on
when you see that reaction from the audience. Sometimes you make a whole nother movie.
Right. So so there's a lot of power in editing because I think overall our life is somewhat edited, depending, especially with social media. Everybody's editing their lives
today, especially
to what they want people to see.
They editing you editing your bodies, you editing your your community and surrounded. It's because it's
editing
so much
your
more,
lifestyle
because the world's so much bigger.
Right.
So like literally. The things that we use to become terms in every day, from your filters to your...
Right. That's interesting. That those are our editing filters. Those are our editing terms that people use, in normal conversations.
First cameras.
Right. First camera terms, then editing terms.
Right. Because
so everything
the whole world is a movie.
So, the whole world is a stage now.
Right.
So everybody's performing. So do you ever meet the real person now? Or is everybody performing on social media, in life? And then when you put this mask on, how do you take it off?
I think even with my friends and everything, from TV to whatever, that there's always a part of me at least that sees the world in some kind of movie. Like I've always said, I always feel like God's trying to pitch me a script. Like
right. Wow.
Shit that I
He's
see,
the ultimate pitcher.
Right. The shit that I see is like, why did I just see that? Or the people I meet. Look, you know what I mean? Like because I was thinking about this on the way here. There's just even the amount of time that you and I, have known each other.
Right.
Kicked it,
and didn't know we went to the same school.
Didn't even know we went to the same school. Just naturally became, friends. But even that being filmed, that was Clockers.
Right.
No, not Clockers. Pardon me, not Clockers. Sorry, Inside Man.
Okay.
Yeah, because I just created the Victor Cruz show.
Right. And he was Inside Man.
And then he was in there. And then you had your DVDs popping. You had your stuff.
And I was working on Inside Man. And I met Vic.
And then he was every place that I could sneak in to the after party to the whatever.
Right.
We were chopping it up. And then I think I didn't I didn't tangibly have your stuff to. I think you had some kind of an after party or something like that.
Yeah. I was doing a lot of short films. I was shooting short films at the time. And I'm always shooting short films when I was working on Spike stuff. Yeah. So
we had to respect that.
So what?
And I don't even think you didn't even have a place to put. Where did you put it? You just put it on DVD.
I put it on DVD. That's what it was back then. But in talking about Victor Cruz, and we were talking about this earlier about YouTube and shooting shows and being ahead of the curve. And being ahead of your time with that show versus now. So you did that then, and now a lot of people are doing that stuff now. What's your perspective on, kind of pressing the reset button and kind of revisiting stuff that you did before? Because now there's a new audience out here.
Yeah. Well, you do think about that. I don't think, as far as that, because I was behind the scenes for a lot of little things, and then don't forget that I was already a director and writer, but I don't think people really started to even really get familiar with me because you guys knew me for reels and stuff like that. But I don't think people until I was working with the stuff that Al was doing.
Right.
Lennox Avenue trailers and stuff like that. So
more narrative stuff.
So for me, that introduced me. Now I realize the passion that I have for marketing and branding, and really that coming from the fashion world, which my best friends at the time when I was, coming up, were into it. For me, whatever I do is gonna have that kind of marketing and branding edge to it. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? I think that's where we like you're very conscious of that all the time. You know what I mean? Like your brand, your stuff, the way you're branding and putting your stuff out there is always on point. And we, as a creative community, a lot of times we sell that part short.
Right.
So even in this past year and change, where like I've just been working on print collateral and doing print campaigns and stuff with local people in schools and developing that side of my talents. Mm-hmm. That to me, and not to be so grim, but like thinking about my community, where I grew up, how I want to see people represented. I have this real thing about like being able to eulogize, right? Is that right? Eulogize people while we're still here.
Right. Giving them the flowers while they're still alive.
So celebrating it, right? Not to get so drink champs about it. You know what I'm saying? We're doing the corporate, but yeah, and not just that, but organization, everything that comes along with that.
Right.
So I say that to say that I don't think that I will be recreating.
Pressing reset doesn't mean recreating. It's kind of revisiting some stuff that worked, and maybe putting a remix on it,
right? Well, yeah, but once I had the like I think now it's those were all like a lot of that stuff was collaborative works,
right?
Everything that came from probably from the times that I've known you to now has been more collaborative work. So the first way to do that is to start putting out more, just original solo works. Mm-hmm. So that's where you see my involvement with, Brick and, your shows on there as well, which I like.
Soul Kings.
So how, so that would be the first thing. And then once having a platform, because there's so much stuff, how to go, there's so much shit that we didn't even get to yet.
Right.
There's stuff that me and Malcolm was just talking about in the kitchen, you know what I mean, before y'all even seen him on iZombie and any of this stuff that we was just, doing just like what we doing right now. Well, probably
the building stages.
And just talking, that I still think about those things.
Right.
Movies that I, wrote with Vic on the bus that I'm still thinking about.
Right.
But is that the kind of movie that I want to represent me right now? Because I think you've been very good. I think if anything, win, lose, or draw, you've pushed toward putting your agenda out there. And
sometimes that agenda is a work in progress. What they say, you find your path by walking in it. And sometimes you don't know. So you kind of jump out the window, and then you figure it out as you go along. But as long as there's forward movement, as long as the needle's moving, that was always my thing. As long as the needle's moving, we figure it out, in the process, because, we're very heady.
Now, what gave you that?
I think what gave me that was to take it way back,
right?
And it goes way back to kind of working on when I first started working for Spike. I was an intern and I was watching the camera.
But you became an intern like on some like gangster shit. Like you was like you.
You had a vision what? Yourself. Even before that, right? You're right, because I wrote a letter when I was in high school, and I think I don't know what made me a self-starter when I wrote that
self-starter. That's a good word.
In high school about working with them, and then eventually I worked with them. I feel like maybe it was me growing up with 5 brothers and 2 sisters. Mm-hmm. I'm the youngest, born in Brooklyn, and they used to be running the streets in the 80s. And I was little and I was alone, so that's where I kind of started getting creative and thinking of ideas and writing, because everybody's running the streets. Everybody's older, and I'm in the house by myself. So I started writing and thinking of stories to entertain myself. So I guess that's where the self-starter started, because I kind of had to start, because I was always by myself. So maybe that's where it came from. So I never really waited for anything or anyone. I just constantly moved, and I was small. I was short, growing up in East New York and Brooklyn and Bed-Stuy, and so you just have to move. You just constantly have to move. So I guess that's where
you gotta have your thing.
You gotta have your thing. I played basketball.
It wasn't cool to really be
right. Right, it was cool. You know, you had to have something that you were good at. You know, and basketball was actually what it was.
You was good at both.
Interesting.
Okay.
You know, I went and I got a scholarship. I don't know if you even noticed. I got a scholarship to play at Purchase.
Didn't know that.
That's how I got to Purchase.
Yeah,
I didn't know. I didn't know.
You were raised with these Purchase.
I didn't know. I didn't know.
Basketball scholarships.
Yo, I didn't know shit about Purchase being from Brooklyn. And my basketball coach at Tilden High School,
Boogie and Mace Murray.
And he knew the coach at Purchase.
Okay.
And he sent him a tape of me.
Okay.
When VHS tapes were big, and he saw the tape and he was like, "Yo, you come to this school, you don't gotta pay for anything." And I'm like,
"Okay,
I don't got no money, so hell yeah, I'ma go." So that's where I was introduced to filmmaking. I wasn't into any of that shit.
Really?
Except basketball. I wasn't into. I didn't major in film. I majored in sociology. I minored in film because I didn't want to start over there and say, "Oh, you can major in it, but you got to start as a freshman."
In film?
Yeah, I took all the classes I wanted to take, and then I interned.
But it's a conservatory; they lock it off.
I was able to do a minor.
You had
because I was able to. I did
film studies.
Right, film studies.
Okay.
I did an internship with Spike, and I got like 8 credits.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? So I don't know if it was something that was the first time done, but and then once I got my foot in, it was like, oh, okay, it's go time.
Yeah.
Purchase is all good. I graduated, but it was like, okay,
I love those stories because you know that I mean, peace to my guys that that I was in class with and that I continue to have a relationship with, but I can only name you maybe like a few people that's like doing it.
Right.
The people that I linked up with and started pushing the needle forward with were actors.
Right.
Were different people, or the people that were doing some kind of a music and then was like hitting me like, let's get some videos popping.
There was in it.
And then I'm like, let me, let's get your EPK popping. It was cast that didn't have nothing. So when people come to me and they start talking and stuff about needing to be in film school and all this kind of
and the game has changed. It's like film school is online now. You can find everything you need to know online.
Exactly what
you can invest that money that you're going to pay for school in a movie.
But I can't give you. You can pay for school, but you can't buy class. I can't give you. I can't give you the want to do it.
Right. The passion, the hustle.
I can't get that to you.
No.
You gotta have that.
You got right, and some people don't got it.
And you gonna find a way to do it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I do it because I see it. I've always been drawing. That was the first thing.
Right.
If I ain't have paper, I rip that little paper out of my mom's pantyhose thing and start drawing.
So you was always creating, just a different type of creating.
Yeah. So that's what I see. That same energy, that's what I see. That's the only thing. If I'm not creating that, that's gonna drive me crazy. I don't care what it is.
Right.
So so that's you. You a self-starter no matter what it is. You just happen to find your voice.
Right. And I think I constantly rediscover my voice. And I think we all have to have a process of growth. We all have to grow. We all have to evolve. We all have to get better. And that doesn't stop. Until we dead. You know what I'm saying? So I'm constantly redefining myself, rediscovering my voice, pressing that reset button. That reset button is the best motherfucking thing in the world.
Oh man, it used to be you used to get caught in the jam, playing Castlevania. You knew
that's it.
You know what I'm saying?
And it's like
gotta do it.
And there's that reset button in life also. And I think people kind of forget that they got that reset button, that they can kind of
it's tough.
Every day's a new day. It's tough to recognize that. It's kind of you have to kind of quiet the noise. There's a lot of noise around you, and if you don't know how to kind of quiet the noise, hear yourself, hear God speak to you, give you instruction and follow on that instruction, then you're going to be lost because there's a lot, especially now.
Well, but it's interesting you said, and I don't know how much time we had left, but it's interesting you said that because we were just talking about that. And I think that's what this generation, because it's more noise than ever. But you made a point about people coming through with stuff and like kind of acting like it's theirs or they invented it and niggas like us kind of finding that laughable because like
I've been there for 20 years.
Right.
Been doing that shit.
Right. They've been there. But to me, things don't move forward without that kind of attitude. I'm not saying it's okay to be ignorant and to disrespect what somebody else laid down because trust me, you know what I mean? Like, we love what we came up in. We love Biggie, we love Not, but at the same time, we still are like the Rakim, but there was a time where that kind of stuff was holding people back.
Right.
So we see where, and I'm using hip hop because one thing that we didn't mention here is that I also don't think of course, do the right thing, but I don't think any of this is possible without hip hop music. I think that's that's my passion.
And Gil Scott-Heron, I mean, they were doing hip hop in the last poets. You know what I'm saying? So
it's not up to me to tell you what hip hop is, because you might say it's James Brown.
And everything kind of had a seed form that kind of planted, and we constantly building upon and standing on shoulders. So it's kind of, nobody owns this shit. You know what I'm saying? Nobody can stake claim to this shit.
But that's why we go. But that's what, when you say the reset and quiet the noise and be able to tap into the energy of what is speaking to you. You say God's voice, or, you know, the universe, however you want to break that down, is something that's calling us to our fullest potential. Right, something that's bigger than us, that has a purpose for us. And what that is. Because I lost that, you know what I mean? And that's why, you know, like that's why people don't ain't seen me for a minute and all that kind of stuff. Right. And sometimes you gotta do that. You gotta hibernate and just kind of, you know, you gotta. The word I like to use now is you have to incubate. Yeah. You're incubating. And sometimes you have to go into that incubation stage. Shoot, I started off in the incubator. You know what I'm saying? But that's the thing. It's kind of like we have to, because it's like, you know, it kind of. You know, it kind of firms up and strengthens our armor. We just have to go back in, and we come back stronger and faster. There's nothing wrong with that, you know, because it's not, you know, it's not a sprint. It's a marathon. You know, this race, this journey called life is like, you know, it's, you know, you don't want to go too fast. You want to go at a good pace. You know what I'm saying? Get a good groove. Right. Because my thing is, I can't be like fire. Like, I don't, you know what I mean? It can't be, that's fire. It can't be like fire, because this isn't something that I'm just trying to put on for now. Right. Like, it's like tennis. So like once I get into a group, I don't want to have to stop. Right. And you and I know what that means. That means you gotta front load it with a lot, and you gotta have a lot in your bag. Right. You know, and we use the word bag. Now they say, you know, they bag it a different way. But But when we say, like, have it in your bag, like, you know, have a reservoir. Right. You know, have stuff that's already in development. Have your arsenal. You know, so your arsenal. So, you know, I don't know, you know, I'll ask you, because it's funny, I've always called you my mentor, and it's never been to make you feel old. Damn, you understand? Hey, but no, but you've been there, you know it, and every time I talk to you, you know, you just came back from Atlanta, you know what I'm saying? You're on the way to LA, you hit, is that how you keep that kind of, not focused, because that can be very, you know, even the time zones alone can be very jarring. But is that you recognizing when the noise is too much over here, or just kind of moving it over here? I mean, you know, that also, and going where, going where there's less noise, going where you can, you know, and I think it's important to kind of spend time as a filmmaker in LA, Atlanta, just, you know, nurturing relationships, spreading your wings, enlarging your territory, as God says. I'm a very spiritual person, and just kind of understanding what's out there. Sometimes I think as Brooklyn creatives, we think Brooklyn. It's like, here, this is, you know, we're in Brooklyn and we don't open up as much. We don't go out as much. We don't reach, you know, our territory isn't as large as it should be. You know, we need to kind of venture out more, you know, more often, you know, and collaborate with people that's not just in Brooklyn. You know, so, and I think that is another way for me to kind of... I'm supposed to be a bluesman. I've never really got to really get my bluesman on. Meaning that I think it's important. Look, you know what I mean? We here, you know, even if, you know, and look, you being on this side of Brooklyn and me being, you know, a little bit more, that's cool too. But going to this town or this country or this whatever and jamming with them, because if you think that's how... That's how jazzmen and bluesmen did, They didn't stay in their town. They ventured out and they jammed with each other. And that's how that, you know, without losing their sensibility. Right. You know, I mean, I think it's about collaboration, and I think we just need to kind of open it up a little more. And I think the internet has done that, but amongst this noise, we really have to be mindful of the noise. That's a big thing for me, because it's kind of restrictive. It can kind of make you, it can kind of derail your creativity. How do you create amongst all of this noise? It's so much going on, you know, so it's important to kind of stay healthy mentally. You ain't lying. Cheers to that. Cheers to that.